when was your organization established and what is the main objective of it?
Hello, first of all, to all of you, students. First of all, my name is Irakli Ramishvili. I'm environmental and occupational health and safety expert of this organization, which is called Gergili. Gergili is an old Georgian word, which actually means hard work, to do a person making its work and job well. That's the meaning of the word. So our organization was established in 2002, actually, about 20 years ago, in Tbilisi, Georgia. And throughout the 20 years, I do think that the popularity of our company has risen significantly throughout Georgia and throughout the whole country. And we do think that we have many years of experience in health, safety and environmental consulting services, and we do think that we intend to play a major role as individually, like our organization, and also collectively with other structures and other entities of the country. It goes both with the public organizations and also with the public structures and also with private sectors. And we intend to find the problems, to identify the problems in this industry, and also to make solutions to these problems in this industry. And we do think that we are a major role in this, and we try to do it in the following years. So that's one of our most important purposes of the company, to help the whole environment in Georgia to establish the international and national standards and the requirements of environmental solutions in Georgia. So yeah, that's our main purpose of the company.
As a consulting company, one of the company's major priorities is to improve the standards of environmental services. It offers consumers environmental service. What does the latter mean?
As we already started, our company's main services is around environmental and also health and safety consulting services. And first of all, I need to say that in our services, we include a lot of experience in environmental and health and safety consulting services. And so we really think that we have and we can provide quality products in environmental services, such as, for example, environmental impact and social assessment reports, which is one of the most important documents, and not only in Georgia but in the whole world, and also environmental management plans, also waste management plans, some baseline surveys. That's also one of our most important services. It's baseline surveys, which include, for example, biodiversity surveys, some geology surveys, some hydrology surveys, and etc. And also, one of our services is also environmental audit reports. So it goes only for the environmental services, but as I mentioned before and earlier, we also have occupational health and safety services, which actually is a requirement according to Georgian legislation. It's a requirement for every economic activity, economic entity, whichever you may get in your mind. Like if you think a shop or a school, every one of those economic activities has a requirement to establish occupational health and safety requirements in their companies. That's a requirement according to Georgian law. So that's also one of our services, to establish occupational health and safety system in the company. Also the workplace risk assessments, also some evacuation plans, some trainings, some measurements actually against COVID-19, and etc. So that's our two main services. One is environmental services and also the occupational health and safety services. And in addition, we have one more services. It's the laboratory research, laboratory analysis. It goes with the environment because it's connected to it. So we are partnering with a science research laboratory, which is called BBE. So actually we are partners, and this laboratory provides fast and mobile laboratory services to every interested customer. So, and it includes, for example, some water analysis, water quality analysis, air air quality analysis, noise measurements, vibration measurements, and etc. So we have three main services. It's environmental services, which I talked the first topic, then it's occupational health and safety, and also the laboratory analysis.
Do you implement projects to raise people's awareness about environmental?
Yeah, environmental awareness issues. Yeah, actually we do. We had a lot of trainings conducted by us, and actually it was free of charge. It was free for everyone who was interested. It didn't mean who it was a public entity or a private entity, it doesn't matter actually. It was free of charge for everyone interested. It was exactly the environment awareness raising events. It was training, some live events, and etc., some online events also, and it included the general requirements of environmental protection of Georgia about this topic, about the general requirements. Also, it was about air quality, about soil and water quality, and how we as persons have to take care of it properly. So these were the main topics of our awareness raising activities and trainings and etc. Actually, we do have one training today at 5. Actually, if anyone is interested, we're also doing it today. So yeah, we have conducted a lot of trainings, not only about environmental protection, but also about occupational health and safety. So yeah, we try to take part in it, and I do think that not only us, but also with the help of government and also the private sectors like us, need to make the awareness raising events for everyone to know what the environment is and what we have to do to take care of our environment. So yeah.
What do you think? How important is it for the civil society to be involved in environmental protection?
As we ended our last answer with that, that's the important continuous of that segment, because I do think, and I personally do think that to think about environment is like one of the most important things that we can think about on our everyday basis, daily basis. Because it doesn't matter you're just a living person or you are connected with the job or work which is connected to environmental, maybe pollution or environmental protection. It doesn't mean anything. The thing is that every person on this whole world needs to think about environment, because we do come to a decision making every day every day of our lives. We come to a decision when we think what we should do to take care of this environment. We go to that decision like every hour day. So that's why I do think that that's very important, and I do think, as I said earlier, that both the government and also the private sectors who are connected to this environmental activities and who may have more information about the environment than some other persons, need to conduct at least the trainings for everyone living in this whole world to raise the awareness. Because, it's like a chain reaction. If one person somewhere in this world makes a bad decision on the environment and takes part in the environmental pollution, it doesn't have an influence or impact only on that person or the persons that are around this person. It goes to everyone on this whole world. That's why it's a chain reaction. If one does something bad to the environment, it goes to the whole world. That's why every person needs to think about the environment. And every person needs some awareness and informative trainings about it. So, yeah.
Nowadays, it is planned to build a lot of hydroelectric power plants to maintain energetic stability. What do you think should be taken into account to implement such kind of projects? How risky is it to build hydroelectric power plants in Georgia?
Actually, that's really a popular trend for several years now in Georgia. And there are a lot of HPPs constructed in Georgia. That one of the main reasons of that is that we do really have a lot of water resources in our country. We do have a lot of rivers and that kind of stuff. But the thing is that most of the HPPs, hydropower plants or hydropower stations, which are built in Georgia, are mainly small HPPs. it means that these HPP's energy output is about 15, 10 or 5 megawatts. That means that they are small HPPs. And the thing is that these small HPPs have the aim and the interest are only like business private interests, not general interest for the energy independence of the country. So most of the HPPs, most of the small HPPs don't have really a good profit for the country's energy independence. And personally, I do think that HPPs are important for the country and it needs to be done, but and I also think that we need a pair of big HPPs in Georgia, but the most important thing is to consider the environmental issues during the construction and operation of these HPPs. The most important thing is the environment when you construct an HPP. So that's why the constructors who plan to construct and operate hydropower plants need to get an environmental decision. That environmental decision is like a license for construction and operation. It grants you allowance, so if you get the environmental decision, you are allowed to construct and operate the hydropower plant. And this environmental decision is given according to the requirements of Environmental Assessment Code. So that has some complex procedures for you to get the environmental decision. So the environmental decision is given by the Ministry of Environmental Protection and Agriculture of Georgia. So the constructor or the planner who plans to construct the HPP needs to submit a lot of complex documents to the ministry, and the ministry then afterwards reviews this document, and if they decide that this project is well managed, doesn't have a lot of negative impact on the environment or social issues, and one more important thing also that this document also provides some information about the mitigation measures, what the constructor company plans to do. So to first of all avoid negative impacts on the environment, and also if there's going to be any impact on the environment, to mitigate it to its lowest parameter. So everyone knows that hydropower plants have negative impact on the environment. Some of them more, some of them less. So that's why they need to participate in these procedures, and afterwards when they get the environmental decision and they start working and constructing the HPP and operating the HPP, they are also given additional conditions by the ministry, what they need to follow during the operation and during the construction. So if the constructor company follows all the rules, follows all the conditions, and also on the ministry side, they have to control and monitor that these conditions are followed by the constructor. In this situation, hydropower plants can be constructed and can be operated with at least minimum environmental impacts on society and on environment. So yeah, I do think that it's to answer it shortly now in conclusion, it's a poor trend constructing HPPs in Georgia, but it needs to be done according to the requirements, and it needs to be done with discussions with society, and so society needs to engage in this construction. It must not be done on a private basis. It must not be done on one person's interests. Like every person who is interested and who wants to be interested in this construction needs to take part in the construction and needs to share their ideas on this construction. So after all this, it can be constructed, but it needs to follow some very complex conditions and requirements.
Ecotourism is one of the most important segments, mainly related to nature conservation, and comprises traveling connected to this issue. In your opinion, what are the most relevant steps to make this field more popular by the government and non-governmental sectors?
Yeah, ecotourism is quite an important form of travel. Actually, it's not quite popular in Georgia right now, but I think it's getting more and more popular every day and every year. So, first of all, what it needs to be done, in my opinion, is that it needs to engage conversation about this form of travel, about ecotourism. As I talked earlier, it also needs awareness raising information to be shared in the society. So it needs to be shared through TV, through social networks, through networks, live events, and etc. And we need to start the conversation about this form of travel. So and ecotourism gets promoted by educating people on this aspect of tourism. And if you educate people on every aspect of this form of travel, it will get more people involved in this activity. It will get more people involved, interested in this form of activity. So it also needs a creation of ecotourism-driven strategy, and this strategy will have a strong emotional message to everyone interested in this form of travel, and that will help to raise the popularity of this form of travel. And actually, the ecotourism vacation spots and areas need to be shared and advertised with the form of graphics, images, videos, so it will get more and more people interested in this form of travel. And as we mentioned before, ecotourism promotion needs to be done both by the government, and also, in my opinion, all the existing private tourist companies. So that will help to make it popular, the ecotourism. And I do think that it's very important, and it will have a lot of great and positive impacts on society to make it popular. Thank each of you who are interested in this topic, because it wasn't so popular some years ago, and it's getting more and more popular. It wasn't even popular at schools. Actually, when I was studying at school, no one knew what environment was. So as I see now, it's getting more and more popular. So thank you for interested in it, and thank your school that they are interested in these projects and these types of projects. And yeah, I think together we can make and we can improve the world and make a great place to live.